Hey, Shalom. We are the I.S.U.P.K. We start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York City, under Commander General YAHANNA. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. We were established in 1969. We teach the truth according to the Bible, that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are God's chosen people. Today's class topic is, of course, today's the Wednesday law class. Today's class topic, we're going to have Dr. Zagabar coming in. He's going to be teaching that man-made holidays are unlawful. That's your Christmas, that's your Thanksgiving, Halloween, Valentine's Day, Easter, so on and so forth. Right? It's countless holidays that they've come up with, even celebrating birthdays. All right, all of these things are holidays of the Gentiles, right? So, Shar, let me Mardagi, let me get 2 Maccabees 6:1. 2 Maccabees 6:1. You understand? All of these, and Trooper Shah. Let me get Jeremiah 10:2.
COMCAST.
All right, these holidays, which is Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of these holidays that we celebrate in America were created by our oppressors, man, who the Bible calls Gentiles. Gentiles are anybody that's not of the nation of Israel. So if you're not so-called black, Hispanic, or Native Indians from the 12 tribes of Israel, you understand that you're a Gentile. And these are the Gentiles' holidays. They celebrate these things. They've made them. And we today think there's something good or something holy, like Christmas. We think it has to do with Jesus Christ's birthday. We think that Thanksgiving has to do with being thankful and caring and giving. But it has totally different meanings than what we know them as today. And we should not be celebrating these holidays because the Lord said he hates and despises these days, man.
That's right.
He hates and despises these days. But we're going to show you in the Bible a little bit more about that. I'm going to touch on some scriptures that Priest and Officer Dr. Zagabar may not touch on, just so I don't have to take away from his study lesson plan today, all right? Let me get what you got, Omar Doggy.
2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Not long after this, the king sent.
Hold on, give me a second. Trooper Shaw, turn that fan off in there, Baba Shah, if you could.
You can turn it up and off too.
All right. Omar Doggy is not loud and clear.
It's not loud and clear.
No, it's just saying just loud and clear, so if they cannot hear you over here. All right, let me get it again. 2 Maccabees chapter 6 verse 1.
2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens.
Mm-hmm. Of Athens, right? He saw. So the king, the king sent an old man of Athens. Go ahead.
To compel the Jews
Mm-hmm.
to depart from the laws of their fathers.
Go ahead.
And not to live after the laws of the gods.
You understand that? This is what these other nations are doing. They're trying to get us to stop living after the laws of our God, man. They're trying to stop us from keeping our traditions, from keeping our customs. They want us to be like them, lawless. They want us to be like the Gentiles, right? So this, in the time that this scripture was recorded, this was during the time of the Greek captivity, right? When we were in captivity under Greece. That's why it talks about, it says Athens, right? Athens is in Greece. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, Athens was in Greece. So he said they sent people out to go to the Jews, who the Israelites, and to do what? To compel the Jews to depart from their laws, the laws of their fathers.
Right.
You understand? To compel the Jews to do what? To do everything like eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. To get them to stop praying to their God, to stop keeping the Sabbath, stop celebrating your holy days, stop staying away from interracial marriage, try homosexuality. They're trying to get us to break the laws of our forefathers, of our ancestors, man. And that's what they were doing. So like I said, this was during the time of the Greek captivity, when they were when we was under the Greeks, the Israelites, and they wanted to persuade us to keep not follow our laws, statutes, commandments, of course. And it's the same thing here in America today, right? Like I said, they trying to get us to eat pork. They saying it's okay to be a homosexual, join the army. Sex is just sex. You can have sex with who you want to have sex with. Weed is legal. You can get high. It's all of the same things that we are seeing here in American captivity that we've seen in the Greek captivity. We've seen in the Egyptian captivity. We've seen in the Babylonian captivity. It's the same things, man. Read it again.
2 Maccabees 6 and verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
And this is what they want to do, man. They're going to send people out specifically to get you to transgress the law of the Lord. You can look at those people not only as our oppressors, but even those of our own people who have joined forces with the Gentiles, who have joined forces with the heathens, like our Christian pastors, for example. Our Christian pastors are lying to us. They're telling us the laws are done away with. You go to church and they celebrating Christmas in the church.
Right.
They celebrating Easter in the church. Bunny rabbits laying eggs, which is a fictional thing. It is not realistic. It's not real. Bunnies don't lay eggs. You celebrate Thanksgiving in church, Valentine's Day, every holiday that man ever created, they celebrate it in the Christian church, because the Christian church is the house of Satan, man. Christian church is the temple or the doctrine of our oppressors. That's what it is. And these people who are black people that are in these Christian church that are called pastors, reverends, deacons, bishops, they're teaching us to compel. They're trying to compel us to go against the law, statutes, commandments of our Lord and Savior, man. The Most High in Christ, YAHANNA, man. You understand? Keep going up.
And not to live after the laws of God.
And not to live after the laws of God. Go ahead.
You want me to read verse 2?
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 2, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem.
You understand it? But pollute the temple, man. Today, that temple is the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
That temple is these brothers and sisters that are here, where it's like, because we know that the kingdom of heaven is within us. So they're trying to get us to be like GMS. They want us to be like the Christian church. They want us to be like what? IUIC. They want us to be like every other person in the world, in the earth, that do after every other nation, all the other Gentiles. But the I.S.U.P.K. is holy. We're separate. You understand? Well, they cannot compel us to go against the law, statutes, commandments of our Lord, man. You understand? The Most High in Christ. You know what I mean? But they're trying to pollute the temple. They're trying to. You know what I mean? They tempting us. They putting up obstacles. They don't want us to go on the street corners, so on and so forth. And they wanted to pollute. In that time, they wanted to pollute the temples. Then you understand? Where we were teaching the truth. Where we were teaching the Israelites who they were, and not to join with our oppressor. To who our Father is. To not celebrate their holidays. To celebrate our own holy days. Trying to keep it holy. They wanted to pollute that. They wanted to pollute that. Go ahead.
And to call the temple of Jupiter Olympius.
No, okay, so let's go down to verse 6 real quick.
Right. Verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we couldn't even be who we were. And that's the same thing here in America today. We can't be black. No. It's bad to be black. Black is bad. You can't be black. You can't be Mexican. Mexican is a bad thing to be. And for that reason, they get us to feel like we hate one another. They get us to hate ourselves. You understand? In addition to that, what is the most important thing that we can be overall? We can't be Israelites, man. We can't be Israelites. They said they took a crafty counsel against our hidden ones, that the name of Israel shall be no more remembrance. They were in Charleston, South Carolina, Denmark VC and those brothers that was down there teaching in those churches, that were going to those churches, they was in those churches teaching who the Israelites were, man. They was teaching in those churches in Charleston, South Carolina, who are the Israelites, that we are the Israelites, black people, Hispanics, Native Indians. And guess what? These are the nations, our oppressors, they wanted to shut that down. They wanted to shut it down. Why we can't teach that we the Israelites? Why we can't do it? Because they know that it's true. And the day that the more and more of us wake up and find out who we are, the less people are going to celebrate their holidays. You understand? The less people that are going to commit sin and do what they always try to compel us to do, and stop sinning against the Lord, man. They know that's going to happen. We're going to stop sinning against the Lord. So they try to keep us from what? Not being who we are. Not being who we are, not claiming our identity. And on top of that, they said what else? Not keeping the Sabbath days. You know what I mean? That's why they did the Roman Catholic Church and the Catholic Church. They changed the Sabbath day to Sunday. So you just totally all the way off, celebrating acknowledging the Sabbath day on Sunday when the Sabbath is on Saturday, right? And then it says what? Also it says the ancient feasts. You know what I mean? The Feast of Tabernacles, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know what I mean? The Day of Atonement, the Passover, the blowing of the trumpets. Those are all ancient feasts. You understand? Those are all ancient feasts. Those are all holy days that the Lord God gave us to be able to memorialize events in our past as Israelites.
That's right.
You understand? Holy days, man. You know what I mean? Like the Passover, which is which should be such a controversial thing, but it's not, because the interpretation of the Bible, because of Christianity, has it to be like Passover is just some kind of day where, we just light candles and mazel tov and, drink wine and bread. But really, that day is a celebration of the slaughtering of Egyptians, man. That's the day that happens. That's what happened during the Passover. The Passover was a day where the Egyptians were slaughtered, man. All the firstborn of all the firstborn of their cattle, all the firstborn of their chickens, all of them died, man. And they tried to pursue the Israelites through the Red Sea and were covered over by the water and died, man. That's what the Passover celebrates. The death of our enemies. You understand? These are the things that they don't want us to celebrate and know here in America, man. Just like they didn't at this time in the Maccabees in Greece. They didn't want us to celebrate these days. They didn't want us to celebrate the Sabbath. They didn't want us to call ourselves Israelites. So now we call ourselves what? Black. We call ourselves African American. We call ourselves mixed. You understand? We call ourselves Christians. We call ourselves everything but Israelites according to the Bible, man. Read that from the top up.
Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
You understand? And what happened was, in this time in Greece, white society, they set up laws that didn't allow you to celebrate the holy days. They set up laws to be able to keep you, incriminate you for calling yourself a Jew, for calling yourself an Israelite. You would be persecuted for a crime for identifying your true race, identifying your true nationality, man. You understand? Like we were thrown in jail. We were murdered for what? For doing what the Lord told us to do.
Right.
And that's what we see in America today, man. In America today, they're doing everything they can to make sure that you follow them and not the Lord. So they set up laws. They pass laws like what? It's legal to marry gay. Gay marriage is legal. That's a law that's a direct attack on black people, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. That's a direct attack on us, man. That's that legalization of marijuana. That's a direct attack on black people, man. Because if we already wasn't being incarcerated enough by selling it, now we are putting ourselves in a position to feel like it's okay to smoke it legally, and now we're sinning against the Lord as well for smoking it as well, right? So we're seeing the same things that happened in Greece. We're seeing it right here, man. You understand? That those other nations wiped out our identity, man. They wiped out our identity. They wiped out our culture. They wiped out our heritage, our holy days, the Sabbath days. They trying to hide and cover it up, man. And that's why they took the Apocrypha out of the Bible.
Right.
That's why they took the Apocrypha out of the Bible. They trying to hide who we are. They trying to hide what their lies. You know what I mean? With this what we're reading right now. They're trying to hide this. You understand? When we were in captivity in Greece, and they were setting up these laws, trying to like I said, the king at sending out, like he said, old men to compel the Jews to sin against the Lord and not follow the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments. Right? It's the same thing today, man. The same way the Cherokee Indians, the Sioux Indians, the Seminoles call themselves Native American. You understand? And when these heathens, you understand, when the heathen man named their land America, right? So what's the difference? You understand? The Aztec descendants called what? Called themselves what? Mexicans. Our names are continuing to change and change and change. We've gone so far away, identity wise, from being who we are, from identifying ourselves as who we are, being the Israelites, and all that comes with that. Like I said, these holy days that the Lord said that we should follow and memorialize through all of our generations. All right, read it again. Is any more on that up? All right. So no sweat. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like taking our identity away, taking away, making it unlawful for us to do what the Lord told us to do, but also passing laws that are things that the Lord said we shouldn't do, and telling us that's okay for us to do. Right. This is the things that they're doing in America. They've done all throughout history, man. You understand? We should follow the Lord's law, statutes, commandments, and that means celebrating the Lord's high holy days. That also means not celebrating America's holy holidays. You understand? So go ahead and read that from the top again up.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
You understand? They couldn't profess themselves to be a Jew. Drop that. Let me get Lamentations chapter 2 verse 9. Let me change. You was holding something, Shar?
COMCAST, so Jeremiah 10 verse 1 and 2.
Go ahead, let me get it.
This book of Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
O house of who?
O house of Israel.
O house of everybody.
Israel.
O house of Israel, man. Here we go again. This is our book, man. If you're gonna dispute us and say that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are not Israelites, or the Israelites are dead and gone, or however you want to put it, you still can't dispute that this book was only talking about Israelites.
Right.
It's only talking about one people. It's not talking about everybody in the face of it. It says Israelites. It says house of who?
House of Israel.
House of Israel, man. Go ahead.
This saith the Lord. Learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of who?
Of the heathen.
Like when they would say, when we celebrate these holidays, what are we doing? Learning the way of the heathen, man. We're learning the way of the heathen. Like, you know that all of these holidays have a meaning and history behind it that is gruesome and murderous and wicked. And I'm sure Nathan Zagabar is going to get into depth with these holidays about what they are and where they come from. So I'm not even going to give it to you right now. I'm just trying to show you what the Lord said about who we are and what these other nations are trying to hide from us, man. Read it again.
This saith the Lord. Learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the heathen, man. We should not be smoking weed. We should not be dreading our hair, getting dreadlocks. That's the way of the heathen. We should not be getting tattoos. That's the way of the heathen. We should not be celebrating Christmas. We should not be celebrating Halloween, Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Valentine's Day, Easter. Oh my goodness, it's so many holidays. Columbus Day, Labor Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, go ahead, Mardaki.
And Shalom, sir. I mean, like, it's gotten to the point now where recently, I say roughly around like anywhere from 3 to 5 years ago, they got it where it's like a national day, like National Donut Day, it's National
Brother
Bully
Day,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And all that's wicked as well too. I mean, because it's not of the Most High. So,
Right.
I mean, that's something that we should not be following as well too. So if they say it's a National Donut Day and you like donuts, just make it give them a point that you don't buy donuts on that day.
Right.
Or you don't buy hot dogs on that day, because they are trying to mind control us to make them to pretty much further oppress us so we can follow their ways and not the Most High ways.
Right. And you're right. And they, like you said, they're grooming us.
Right.
They're grooming us. Next thing you know, you getting so hyped. You're like, oh, a hot dog day, donut day, sibling day, you understand, moon day, solar eclipse day. The next thing they got gay day. You know what I mean? They got gay day. They got what? Rob and murder day, purge day, and you just going along with it. You just doing everything they say is okay to do. Everything that they say is good to do. But let's be holy. Let's do what the Lord said to do. But we see that it's in their hearts and in their mission to compel us to do what the Lord said not to do. It's in their heart and in their mission to do, for it to compel us or to persuade us to go against our Lord. You understand? Our law, statutes, and commandments, man. That we don't even call ourselves Jews anymore, man. You understand? Go ahead and answer that up. You understand? So we have to come back to our law, statutes, and commandments, our heritage, our identity, everything that we have, who we are. You know what I mean? What the Lord gave us. Drop that. Give me Lamentations. Give me Hosea 8:8 real quick before not desire ball hop on. Hosea 8:8. You understand? We got to stop doing these things. They even during the Babylonian Empire, during the Greek Empire, and here in America today, people are sent out. You understand? Go back to Revelations. I mean, where I was at Second Maccabees? Yeah, 6:1.
6:1.
Yeah, get back over there right quick. Give me what you got, Shar.
Book of Hosea, chapter 8, verse 8.
Go ahead.
Israel is swallowed up.
Israel is what?
It's swallowed up.
Like, we become swallowed up in all this that America says is good, and you know what I mean, the land of the free, where you can be Al Pacino, you could be Scarface, you can be, you know what I mean, you can be anybody. You could be Pimp, Daddy Kane, you know what I mean, you could be Nicky Barnes, you could be Madonna, be the biggest whore everybody know, celebrate what you want to celebrate, be gay, love who you want to love, you know what I mean, and that's what America, we become swallowed up. Go ahead.
Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel.
Now we shall be among the Gentiles as a vessel, man. You understand? Wherein is no pleasure, right? Where is no pleasure, you know what I mean? Like it's no pleasure in doing these things, man. You know how gay relationships are? It's violent. You understand? Yeah, get down. Gay relationships are violent, man. You know how much money we lose celebrating Christmas? You know how much money we lose? You know how much danger we put our kids in by sending them out for Halloween? Do you know? Well, it's no pleasure in these things, man. But this is what they know, and that's why they try to get us to do it. Read what you got again, Mardaki. This is it. We're going to end on that one.
Second Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Not long after, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews.
To compel the Jews. So the king of Greece at the time sent a man out to compel the Jews. Go ahead.
To depart from the laws of their fathers.
To depart from the laws of their fathers, man. To go and celebrate these holidays. To love who you want to love. Smoke, get high, get dreads, tattoos, sell drugs. Like, you know, it's glory in being a criminal. It's glory in being wicked. They are compelling us to do these things. Go ahead.
And not to live after the laws of God.
You understand? That's the whole motive they want to do, man. This was during the Greek captivity.
Right.
It's no different today in America, man. With that, I'm gonna pass the class over to preaching officer, not the Zach Ball.
Yeah, man, you.
Beat down that thing.
You want to sit right here?
All right, so today we're talking about the white man's holidays. You know, our precious holidays. What's some holidays that's coming up? Go ahead.
We got Halloween, Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving.
Christmas,
Christmas. What else we got?
New Year's Day.
Got Columbus Day.
Right, yeah, Columbus Day. Right.
You know, Valentine. You know, they call this what they call this time of the year. What they call it? Go ahead.
The most jolliest time of the year.
The most jolly. That's one thing they say. But yeah, another term for it, they call it holiday season.
Right.
You know, they call this the holiday season. So, let me ask you a question. Let me ask the trooper a question. Is it lawful to celebrate Thanksgiving?
La'a.
La.
La'a, sir.
Okay. Why is it unlawful to celebrate Thanksgiving?
Well, it's like one of the reasons is one of our precious accomplishments, they seem to say, and it's the slaughter of Israelites.
Okay.
So-
Okay. All right. Now, let me ask you this question, right? So, if I was to go into the Bible to show where we should not celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, where would I go? What's the scripture I would go to?
Amos 5:2.
Amos 5:2. Go ahead and pull that up. You said Amos 5:2.
Is that the right one?
What y'all looking for?
You talking about Amos? You talking about the
Amos
despise
5.
your feast days?
It's like, so,
Amos 5:21.
5:21 Shalom.
That's right. Go ahead and get that.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days.
All right, so this Lord says he using strong language, like how the white man like to say, yeah, he using strong language there,
Right.
buddy. The Lord said he hate, he despise. You understand? I mean, he's utterly disgusted with our feast days. You understand? And why is he disgusted with our feast days? You understand? Why is he disgusted with our feast days? Go ahead.
Because we're celebrating those days and it's taking us further and further away from what is our true holidays, our true Savior days.
Okay.
In one way.
That's a good answer. I mean, and you absolutely right. Go ahead,
I
Martin.
was just gonna say he don't want us to do it.
Right.
Point
That's the
blank
simplest answer right there, because he said so. You understand? Like, how many times you ever ask your daddy, like, why? You know what I mean? Don't go outside. Why?
Right.
Like, what you mean why? Because I said so. You understand? So the Lord says he despises our feast days. You understand? And think about the holidays we got coming up. Like, let's start down the list. I think the next one coming up is Columbus Day. Is that the next day coming up?
So I can check it.
Yeah, check the calendar. You know, I always forget. You know, hell, it be Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and I'll be, you know, at GameStop wondering why they ain't, you know what I mean? Like, open up. Yeah, I need that 2K today. You understand? Or trying to order a pizza on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Wondering why Domino's ain't picking up. You know what I mean? But what's some of these holidays of white man, you know, that our oppressor got coming up? Is Columbus Day the next one?
September, Labor Day already passed. Yeah, Labor Day passed.
Yeah, Labor Day's already
I
passed.
know October, Halloween coming up for sure.
But Columbus Day.
Columbus Day is the next holiday?
October 14th.
Columbus Day. Think about Columbus Day for a second, right? You understand? What do we know about Christopher Columbus? What's some of the things we learned in high school about Christopher Columbus? Go ahead.
That he founded America.
That he founded America. He discovered it.
Right.
He discovered it. You understand? Hey, if Christopher Columbus discovered America, then, you know, I mean, Leroy discovered Brian, Leroy discovered that car he stole last week. You know what I mean? So, this is, but we think about the history of Christopher Columbus, right? This is a day honoring him. Honoring Christopher Columbus, right? Who was a who?
A heathen.
He was a heathen. Go ahead.
A heathen.
He was a heathen, right? And what did this heathen do? He sailed to the Americas, to Puerto Rico, so-called discovered it. But I never quite figured out how you can discover something that's already been discovered. If you ask me, that's called stealing credit.
Right.
He stole credit for it.
Right.
But Christopher Columbus showed up in Puerto Rico. Bada bing, bada boom. Fast forward 400 years, 77 million North American Indians genocide, 100 million black people genocide. You understand? Christopher Columbus has more blood on his hands than possibly any other white man that ever lived.
Right.
You understand? And so we have a holiday coming up celebrating that. And guess what? It's going to be brothers, sisters, all across the Western Hemisphere that's going to be cooking on the grill for Columbus Day.
Right.
You understand? It's going to be cooking on the grill for Columbus Day. And while they cooking on the grill for Columbus Day, what's another thing they're going to do at every cookout in the Western Hemisphere? What's some of the things they're going to do? Go ahead.
You'll be firing up that pork.
Firing up that pork. What's some other things they're going to do? I tell you another thing they're going to do. They're going to say grace. They're going to pray over that pork. You understand? Because they're all Christians. You understand? They all worship a religion that worships our oppressor. So it's only natural that they're going to celebrate a holiday honoring our oppressor. You understand? So Christopher Columbus is what? He's a murderer.
Right.
A thief. A liar. A crook. You understand? But yet we have a so-called holiday honoring this man. You understand? And so while people going out going to be cooking on the grill on Columbus Day, hey, I mean even Thanksgiving. Think about Thanksgiving. You understand? Think about how wicked and evil the first Thanksgiving was. You understand? After that first Thanksgiving, 50 million Native Americans died in almost 5 months.
Right.
50 million. And you know how they died? They died through smallpox, biological warfare. You understand? But yet, every year, black people all across America, Hispanic people all across America, North American Indian people all across America celebrate Thanksgiving. And what are some things we do on Thanksgiving? They take the turkey, put it in the oven. They make the stuffing, the macaroni, and all that. You understand? And for a brother in the world, hey, turkey, gravy, macaroni, cheese, and all that smells amazing, don't it?
Come get me a plate.
Want you a plate right now. You know what I mean? Why I gotta wait till Thanksgiving?
Right.
Baby, get in the kitchen. It's like it. You understand? But what does the Lord say? Go back to that scripture.
COMCAST. I despise your feast days.
So when we celebrate Columbus Day, we celebrate Thanksgiving. You understand? The Lord said he hates, he despises those days. And if you look at the history surrounding all these holidays, any righteous man would understand that. You understand? Because you're celebrating a day, you're celebrating a man who is responsible, who is directly responsible for your oppression in 2019. Christopher Columbus is responsible for Trayvon Martin.
Right.
If it was no Christopher Columbus, there'd be no Donald Trump.
Right.
There'd be no KKK.
That's right.
There'd be no black on black violence. There'd be no crack cocaine. You understand? There wouldn't be any opioid crisis. There wouldn't be abortion, child support. You understand? But yet we're going to honor this man in October. You understand? And Thanksgiving. They slaughtered North American Indians. They lied to them. Like, hey, man, let's come together, break bread. And the whole time, they putting poison in the Kool-Aid.
Right.
You understand? But to be more historically accurate, they poisoned the wine. And our Native Indian brothers and sisters were sitting around that table with these devils, and they found out the hard way that these people are the devil the Bible speak of.
That's right.
You understand? So we shouldn't glorify their victory, glorify their achievements. You understand? Why should we celebrate when our oppressor won? When our oppressor was delivered out of captivity? When our oppressor was delivered out of oppression? When our oppressor discovered America? You understand? When our oppressor decided to conquer the northern hemisphere? Why should we celebrate that? You understand? Read on.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
He will do what?
I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
You understand? The Lord, see, here's the thing. This is how you know that the Most High of the Bible is a black God. Because just like any black person, when we smell that cookout, we love that smell.
Right.
You understand? That almost changed your life. You know, you smell the right scents coming off that grill. Yeah, damn man, you forget all the pains you had that day. You understand? And the Lord's the same way. He loves when we do that in righteousness. He loves that. He loves the smell of it. You understand? But when you celebrating Columbus Day, celebrating the 4th of July, celebrating Thanksgiving, celebrating Christmas, the Lord say he despises your feast days.
Right.
You understand? Despise is a powerful word. You understand? Let's look up the definition of despise. You got a dictionary?
Got it.
Let's look up that word, despise. You understand? Because we're not making this stuff up. A lot of people, when we go out on the corner, we talking about, you ain't supposed to celebrate Thanksgiving. Man, people look at this like we nuts. Like we done lost our damn mind. You understand? But what we doing is we showing you out the Bible, you understand, the truth of what the Most High feels. That's the thing. Everybody care about what they feel.
Right.
Nobody takes into account what the Most High feels, especially the Christian church. Christian church, they don't give a damn about what the Lord feels or what he thinks. Because if they thought that, then half the pastors, well, I can't say half, every single Christian pastor will have to step down if they care what the Lord thought. You understand? Read the definition of despise from the Bible, Shah.
COMCAST, despise, to feel contempt or a deep repugnance for.
Read it again.
To feel contempt or a deep repugnance for.
Read it again.
To feel contempt or a deep repugnance for.
You understand? To feel contempt or a deep repugnance for. Go ahead, Al.
The young man Leon said to hate.
Right.
That's right.
Right. I mean, he pretty much uses that word in the scripture itself. Go ahead, Al.
Well, let's say it's another definition on the Merriam-Webster. It said to look down on with disrespect.
That's even more powerful. To look down on with disrespect. You understand? That's like you seen that playoffs game with LeBron threw Stephen Curry layup. You understand? That's how the Most High look down on your feast days.
Right.
You understand? Like you got a prayer going up. Yeah, I mean he looking down on it with disrespect. You understand? He do not respect you coming together talking about Ashashara Bashara, Shashara Bashara. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a damn about all that. He look down on that with disrespect.
That's right.
You understand? And it deserves disrespect because you disrespect the Lord. You disrespect the Lord's people by celebrating those feast days. You understand? Like as a black man in America, you understand? If we look at it like this, right? You understand? You know, I'm not saying R. Kelly did it. You know, he ain't been to trial. He in trial now. So we'll see when the trial come out.
Right.
You understand? But if R. Kelly did it, you understand? Will we not look at the people he did it to as completely nuts if they sat there and celebrated R. Kelly? had a parade for R. Kelly. Thank you, R. Kelly, for what you've done for me. You molested me since I was 8. You understand? We would look at them like they are obviously mentally, you know what I mean? There's obviously something going wrong in the mental with that person.
Right.
They need counsel. You understand? So that's the same thing that's the same thing with black people as a whole when it comes to these high holy days. Or it's like these holidays. You understand? All right, so we're gonna drop that scripture. What was that? It was that Acts 5:21.
Amos
5:21. So like, all right. So here's what we're gonna do. All right, another scripture that you're gonna want to pull when you want to prove that God does not want us celebrating the other nations' holidays. You want to go to the book of Jeremiah. It's Jeremiah chapter 10, and you're gonna start at verse 2.
COMCAST.
Matter of fact, we just start at verse 1.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Read it again.
Jeremiah 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
This is the word that the Lord speaketh unto you. This isn't not desire bar. You understand? This isn't General YAHANNA speaking this unto you. You understand? Who is speaking this again?
The Lord speaketh to you.
The Lord speaking to you. Who's he speaking it to?
To the house of Israel.
To who?
To the house of Israel.
To the whole world.
To the house of Israel.
You understand? To blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? This is the Lord talking. Like everybody like to say, the Bible's all love and the Bible's all come together and hold hands and celebrate Thanksgiving. You understand? When the Lord is about separatism.
Right.
You understand? The Lord is about being separate. That's what the word holy even means. You understand? The word holy, think about it. Everybody knows the term holy people. You understand? They understand the term. There is a holy people. Christians think the word holy means, I don't know, it's magical and sparkly like unicorns and what's some magical things that exist in the world? Peter Pan, unicorn, Santa Claus. You understand? Pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You understand? That's what Christianity, they believe in magic.
Right.
You understand? When magic is not real. You know, the magician does not really pull a rabbit out of nowhere when he pulls a rabbit out of a hat. You understand? So, this is the Lord speaking to the children of Israel.
Come.
No one else. Speaking to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Read on.
This saith the Lord.
Thus saith who?
The Lord.
Thus saith the Lord. This is the Most High. Read on.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Do what?
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Now, what does it mean to learn not? What does that mean?
Do not accept.
Do not accept. Yeah, okay. I can take that. You know, learn not meaning don't get into it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't make this a part of your daily routine. Don't make this something that you do. You understand? You know how you pick up a trade at trade school, or you go to college and you learn how to make websites or build computers. You understand? The other nations have ways about them that the Lord does not want us to get into. He doesn't want us to learn their ways. You understand? Read
Right.
on. Read it again.
Come on, concept. This saith the Lord. Learn not the way of the heathen.
Now, who is the heathen? Go ahead.
The wicked bear rule these other nations. It's like to make it more simple. Our oppressors.
Just keep it real simple. Like, who is he talking to?
Anyone outside of Israel.
There you go. That's who a heathen is. A heathen is anyone outside of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
You understand? Because keep in mind, who is he talking to in the scripture?
Oh, house of
He
Israel.
was talking to the house of Israel. So if he's calling you a heathen, then who is he talking to?
Everyone outside of the house.
Everyone outside of the house of Israel. So that would include the white man.
Yes, sir.
That would include the Arab man.
Come on, come.
That would include the Chinese man,
Yes,
the
sir.
African man, the East Indian man. You understand? The Eskimo, the Filipino. You understand? The Samoan. You know what I mean? All of those people outside of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, read on.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
It says, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. What does that mean?
Dismayed. I don't want to say comforted.
Go ahead. Look it up.
Dismayed. Cause to feel consternation or distress.
Right. So in other words, to be stressed, to be tripping, to be worried about. You understand? And it says to be worried about what?
The signs of heaven.
So what's one of the signs of something happened recently that this scripture could apply to? If you don't know, this no big deal. But you know, just recently, what was it, maybe a year, 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, we had like a solar eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Right.
And people all across the country were driving hundreds of miles. You understand? Just to look into something that'll make you go blind by looking into it. You understand? That, and people were scared when they saw the eclipse. You understand? When people talk about you heard so many fake Israelite groups will go around talking about the blood moons and things like that.
Concept.
And see, here's the thing. Do you know what those moons mean? Those blood moons and the solar eclipses, you know what they mean? They mean absolutely nothing. Not a damn thing. That's what they mean. It don't mean nothing. You understand? But the heathen are what?
They are dismayed.
They are dismayed at them. How do you know that they are dismayed at them? Go ahead.
They gives it titles and they try to make meanings of it.
That's very correct. They make a lot of titles, try to make meanings of it. They try to say, oh, this symbolizes the end of the world. You know, they go into panic mode, kill their whole family, and drink the poison Kool-Aid because they think it's the end of the goddamn world. You understand?
Common concept.
So it says the heathen are dismayed at them. So the Lord is saying, be not dismayed at the heathen. Then what does that tell you? I mean, not be not dismayed at the heathen. Be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. What does that tell you?
Do not stress. It's like I said, do not stress it for the end. It's coming.
Well, we've already established all that.
Right.
But he's telling us, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, which means that the heathens are dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So that is a heathenistic practice. So just by that part right there, anytime someone comes up to you and starts telling you, oh, the sun, the moon, and the stars is turning purple and green and falling out the sky and doing all type of crazy stuff, what does that mean to you?
It ain't nothing, nothing.
That it ain't nothing.
It ain't nothing.
It means absolutely nothing.
Not to spill it.
Right. Now to the ones who believe it is something. To those who believe that the eclipse means something. That the blood moon symbolizes something. That it's the last days, that it's the this and that this blood moon means that something bad is going to happen. If someone does that, what does that mean? What do you know based off of the scripture? Go ahead.
The young man Leon said illusional and confused.
Okay, well, they are illusional and confused. That's not what I'm looking for. You know, we've already read it.
They are.
You understand? The answer to my question is already in the scripture that
Right.
we've already read. If someone is worried about the sun, the moon, and the stars, they are dismayed at the signs of heaven, which mean what? Go ahead.
Heathen alert.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means
Break it down a little more.
that means you coming into somebody you know that don't have a clear understanding of what's actually going on in this world. So, like I said earlier, they take these symbols and titles of the oppressor, which is the heathen. So that showing that they're getting that education from the oppressor, or they just want to go with anything else besides what's in the Bible.
All right, let's make it a lot more simple.
Right.
All right, so for let's see. If they're let's read the scripture again.
COMCAST. This saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
All right, so if they are dismayed at the signs of heaven, if they're worried about the sun, the moon, and the stars, what does that tell you? If you meet somebody that's a brother, and he's talking about the moon and the stars and the earth and it's on its last axis, whatever it is they say. If they worry about the earth being flat and the moon floating around in a circle, what does that tell you?
They are not in the truth.
Well, they're definitely not in the truth. All right, I'll go ahead and answer for you. It's right there in the scripture. If they are worried about the sun, the moon, and the stars, then they are learning the ways of the heathens.
Right.
Go ahead.
Also, Bunker Ross said that, so like I said, that they are easily persuaded, worship the stars.
Got you. That's a good answer. I mean, that's a good observation of those kinds of people. But the answer that I was looking for is that they were that person is following the ways of the heathens. You understand? Which means that if he's following the ways of the heathens, then that should be a red flag that what this brother is into is nowhere near the truth. You understand? Because the heathens are dismayed at the signs of heaven. When the Lord is telling us, don't worry about them signs in the heavens. If meteorites start shooting all across the sky, you understand, for a week straight, the white man might go into a panic attack, nationwide, worldwide panic attack. But for black people, it means absolutely nothing. You understand? Read on.
Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain.
They are what?
For the customs of the people are vain.
For the customs of these heathens are vain. What does that mean? What does that mean that the customs are vain? Let's think about, what does vain mean? What does it mean to do something in vain? Go ahead, Up.
This is the definition of vain. The number 2,
Go ahead.
producing no result.
Producing no results. I love that definition. Hey, I'm gonna start using that word. Like, you are doing that in vain. It's producing no results. So that's what it means. So the customs of the heathens produce no results. They do nothing. You know, there's no benefit in killing the turkey, stuffing it with bread and spices. Hold on, Salaki. One second, Salaki.
that to my lecture.
All right, Salakia. Where was I at?
Verse 3.
Go ahead, read it.
For the custom of the people are vain.
So the customs of these people produce no results. Christmas means nothing.
Right.
Thanksgiving don't mean nothing. Christopher Columbus Day means absolutely nothing. Now, here's the thing. It might mean something to our oppressor. You know, of course. It's just like how a Laker parade, or who won the championship? The Toronto Raptors. That parade they had in Toronto meant a lot to Toronto, but it didn't mean a damn thing to Golden State. You understand? Yeah, so them going to, that's like them going to Toronto's parade celebrating like they won. When you lost. You understand? It don't even make sense. You understand? So it means nothing. It does nothing for black people. It produces no results for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? Read on.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
All right, so this is going into an interesting situation here. Okay? It said, for one cutteth a tree out of a forest. Read on.
The work of the hands of the workmen.
Now, all right, go ahead, read on.
The work of the hands of the workmen.
Go ahead.
With the axe.
Go ahead.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
They do what?
They deck it with silver and with gold.
All right, so I want you to pause that and read the beginning part of that scripture for me, where it says, learn not.
COMCAST.
Was it?
This saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
So it says, learn not the way of the heathen. Now that part that you just read, which talks about cutting a tree out of forest. What did it say you're going to do with that tree?
They deck it with silver and gold.
So they're going to cut down this tree out the forest and deck it with silver and with gold. This according to the Bible is a heathen custom that the Lord said to learn not. Now, what book in this Bible are we reading?
This is the book of Jeremiah.
Book of Jeremiah. Now, to any Christian in the world, was Jeremiah born before or after Jesus Christ? Go ahead, Doc.
Before, sir.
He's born before Jesus Christ. You understand? So if Jeremiah was born before Jesus Christ, who in here knows what this scripture is talking about? Char, what is this scripture talking about?
To be honest, it sounds like Christmas to me.
It sounds like Christmas. You understand? And he is absolutely correct. It is Christmas. Because what other holiday has ever existed on the earth where you cut a tree down
Right.
and you deck it with silver and with gold? What other holiday? I've never seen a Valentine's Day tree. I've never seen a Martin Luther King Day tree. You understand? Have you ever seen one? Have you ever seen a Black History Month tree? Are you sure about that?
Well, attached to one of us, Slakia.
No sweat. You're right. We was with them ornaments. You understand? So here's the deal, right?
Right.
Here we are in the Bible. You know, I don't want to quote how many years he lived before Jesus Christ, because I will be wrong. But many years before Christ, this man's talking about a Christmas tree. This man is talking about a heathen custom where we cut down a tree and deck it with silver and gold. You understand? That is talking about Christmas. What other holidays are talking about?
That's the only one coming to my head.
It's the only one, because that is the only one. You understand? There's no Easter tree.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no 4th of July tree. You understand? What other holiday? There's no Labor Day tree. You understand? There's a Christmas tree. You understand? Now read on.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers,
They do
that
what?
it move not.
They do what?
They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
So when you go on, when it's what December? When people normally start getting their Christmas trees? About Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
About Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving. All right. So imagine you going out to Thanksgiving, right? Y'all going out to go find your little Christmas tree. Where do you go to get your Christmas tree? Where do people go to get Christmas trees?
Majority, the authentic, they get that out the forest. Most.
Right. They go get them out the forest, but I've never gotten. I've gone and got Christmas trees in the past. I never went to the forest, but we'll go to like a store,
Right.
right? Or like Walmart or something. They'll have them outside. They have a fenced-in little area with all the Christmas trees.
Right.
I like the smell of a Christmas tree. I actually like smelling them burn. To be honest with you, they smell pretty amazing when they on fire. But nevertheless, so you go to Walmart to get your Christmas tree, but how did the Christmas trees get to Walmart? Because a workman went out in the forest and did what? Did he use a butter knife? Probably use an axe or a chainsaw, But he went and cut down that tree. You understand? For you to go and do what? To decorate it with what? Silver and gold. You understand? And here's the thing: when you take it home, what do you do with the tree when you take it home? You understand? Go ahead.
You make sure it's standing up straight.
Make sure it's standing up straight inside that little weird little little thing, podium thing, whatever you want to call it. And you had the screw remember the, I don't know, a lot of people get them fake trees now, but
little fake tree
had the little, I don't even know what you call it. It's like a little water bowl with a little thing in the middle. I don't even know what you call the thing. A Christmas tree stand. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But you would have to line it up so the tree's sitting up straight. And then you would turn the little hooks in it to screw into the Christmas tree so that the Christmas tree does what?
So it's like I said,
Go ahead.
so it's fastened.
What else?
So it move not.
So it's fastened so that it move not. You understand? Now, what book are we reading?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10.
No, I mean, what book is this overall?
This is the Holy Bible.
This is the Holy Bible.
King James.
You understand? This is the Holy Bible. That sits inside of every Christian church in the world.
That's right.
How many Christian churches are going to have Christmas trees in their church this year? Go ahead.
All of them.
All of them. It's a rhetorical question. You understand? Now, here's the deal. They're going to have all these Christmas trees up in every church. Some churches going to have the big, giant Batman Returns tree. y'all young boys don't know nothing about that. Batman Returns Christmas tree. You understand? They're going to have the Batman tree. I call it the Batman tree just because Batman had the real tall, gigantic Christmas tree in the middle of Gotham City.
Right.
You understand? So, every church going to have the big Batman tree. You understand? And right beside that tree, they're going to have what? The Holy Bible. Right. And inside the Holy Bible,
Right.
You understand? It says, learn not the way of the heathen. You understand? It says, learn not. Don't do this. You understand? It says, do not do it. And then, what is the Christian? This is how you know the Christian church is full of liars. This is how you know they're full of liars. What are they celebrating on? Go ahead.
The birth of Christ.
The birth of Christ. Christ, what was his nationality? Go ahead.
He was an Israel tribe of Judah.
He was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. You understand? Now, let me ask you a question. He was so-called born on December 25th?
La'asa.
La. Well, you know, that's what they say in the Christian church. You understand? But here's the thing. Every year they celebrate who they consider to be Jesus Christ. His birthday every year, right? And he was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
Mm.
Did the Israelites celebrate birthdays?
She's good. Like La'asa.
La. They didn't celebrate birthdays. You understand? And if you call yourself a Christian or a follower of Christ, you know, how you gonna disrespect the man by celebrating his birthday?
Mm.
After he, according to you, dead and gone.
Mm.
You understand? How you gonna celebrate a man's birthday?
Sheesh.
That's like at my funeral, my family knows I don't eat no pork, swine, shrimp, crab, lobster. And at my wake or reception, whatever they call it after you dead, and the food all there, they just have straight ham, crab legs, shrimp. You understand? No lamb, no chicken,
Right.
no salad.
Right.
Just everything unlawful. Everything you can select is just unlawful. You understand? That'd be disrespectful. You dishonoring me. Right. Even doing it. You understand? So here's the deal, right? These are so-called followers of Christ. They say they're celebrating his birthday. They say they're, you know, they consider, they have a term for Christianity or the holidays of Christianity.
Right.
They call them Judeo-Christian theologies or holidays, Judeo-Christian, right? So, what part of the Hebrew culture said to not only celebrate birthdays, but to cut down a tree out the forest, decorate it with silver and gold, and fasten it with nails so that they move not? What part of the Hebrew culture is that? Go ahead.
If anything, they speaking the exact opposite of.
Speaking the direct, exact opposite. Now, what does that scripture say that we pulled in Jeremiah?
Come on, concept. For the customs of the people are vain.
Now, read it from the top.
Come on, concept. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
It said, learn not the way of the heathen. You understand? Because this custom that this Bible is breaking down is a heathen custom. You understand? And the Lord said to the children of Israel not to learn the customs of these other nations. You understand? Now, I want you to go to Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33. Matter of fact, I want you to go to Proverbs 28 and 26. Matter of fact, Salaki, just go back to Jeremiah 2 and 33. Salaki. I mean, Jeremiah
2.
Yeah, Jeremiah 2 and 33.
Come on, concept. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33.
Go ahead.
Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Read it again from the top.
Verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
It says, why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love? You understand? Why is that important? Why is the Lord even asking this question? Go ahead.
Why are you shedding yourself from me to gain love from these other nations?
Right.
When you are the most powerful people.
Right. You know, why are we trimming our ways to seek love? You understand? You know, think about that. You understand? You a black man, right? Even if you don't even know you an Israelite, just you a black man. You understand? And you know what our oppressors did to us. And as a black man, you know that same man that oppressed you oppressed the North American Indians the same way. You understand? Not only did they oppress you, and the North American Indians, they oppress the Hispanic people the same way. You understand? As a black man, why would you celebrate Thanksgiving? You understand? Why would you celebrate the 4th of July?
Right.
You understand? I tell you what, it's the same reason why a black man put on a Make America Great Again hat.
That's right.
You understand?
Right.
It's no difference. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, you might as well put on a Make America Great Again hat.
That's right. That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
If you celebrate Thanksgiving, because think about it,
That's
what
right.
happened on the first Thanksgiving.
That's right.
You understand? Think about the symbolism of the meal.
That's right.
The cranberry sauce represents the blood.
Right.
That's a post.
You understand? So think about it, man. As a black man, you celebrating the oppression. First of all, you're celebrating your oppressor's oppression of your brother.
Good night.
You understand? That's what you're doing. Basically, that's what you're doing. And guess what? Does Donald Trump not oppress Hispanic people? Is he not doing that today? Right now. Is he not oppressing Hispanic children down in Mississippi? Right now.
Awesome.
Well, you mean Khan.
The kind, like, he said, why not? He said, why?
No, I'm saying is he not?
Is he? Kind of say he is.
He definitely is. You understand? Donald Trump is oppressing, you understand, and you're celebrating Donald Trump's victory and ability to be able to oppress your brother. You understand? So read on.
To seek love, therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
And we did what?
There hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
So we taught them our ways. You understand? We taught them our ways. How do we teach them our ways? I'll give you an example. The same way I can't think. I need to look this brother's name up. I need to remember this brother's name because I'm gonna talk about him till I die. But that brother that turned in Denmark VC, he did what? He taught the wicked ones their ways.
Right.
And what did the wicked ones go and do? Murdered the North American, not the North American Indians, but murdered Denmark VC and every brother that followed him. For brothers that don't know who Denmark VC is, Denmark VC was a bad man. That was a bad mama jamma. Because he was going to lead, he was about to lead what would have been the largest slave revolt in United States history. He would have done it. And he would have gotten away, like, you know how they say in Scooby-Doo? And I would have gotten away with it too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for some slimy snake going to John C. Calhoun and teaching him everything. You understand? Teaching him everything. Told him the whole plan. And John C. Calhoun went and murdered black people all throughout Charleston in the name of slavery. You understand? So here's the deal. What made him do that? What made that man go and do that? To betray Denmark VC in the slave revolt. What made him do that? Go ahead.
That's why I get power and greed.
Power and greed, man. Not really, because what power could a slave get during slavery? You know, what greed? What you gonna get? An extra biscuit? You know what I mean? Think about it. We just read it. You understand? Read the scripture again from the top.
Concept. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33.
Go ahead.
Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Why do what?
Why trimmest thou thy way To seek love.
Why trimmest thou thy ways? What does it mean to trimmest your ways? I'll give you an example in a scenario. It was our way during slavery to stick together. You understand? This man trimmed his ways for what?
To be a part of the oppressor, to be accepted.
Right, to be accepted, to be loved by our oppressor. You understand? It's no different than why some brothers cut their beards off to get a job.
Right. Still
You understand?
It's like
Go ahead.
it's still gonna let you a goon at the end of the day.
All right, they still gonna look at you like you are just a black nigger who deserves to die. You understand? That's gonna be in the mind of them. You're just gonna be one that doesn't have a beard, who doesn't look threatening. You understand? Who doesn't look intimidating when he walks down the hallway.
Sheesh.
You understand? Because think about it. You know, our oppressors, they damn near lose their minds when they're in the presence of a strong black man. Have you ever noticed that?
Right.
Being in the UPK, be around there long enough, you're gonna see.
Right. That's
You know,
honest,
they get real uncomfortable. Go ahead.
I got the brother name who betrayed Denmark Vesey.
Read that aloud.
All right. So this is an article from the PBS.org. It just says betrayed by a Christian.
Hold on, read that again. Read the title of that
Right,
article.
It's not the title. It just goes into a little history on Denmark Vesey, but it like breaks it down.
Oh,
like
gotcha.
his beginning and
Right,
like
right.
how it all started
Right.
from his thoughts, and then it says towards the end it says that he's betrayed by a Christian.
It says Denmark Vesey, but Officer Mark Dockett just brought it out. Said Denmark Vesey was betrayed by a Christian. You understand? Denmark Vesey. Look Denmark Vesey up. Denmark Vesey was a slave that hit the lottery during slavery. He hit the lottery during slavery, and he bought his freedom for $600. You know, back then that was a whole lot of money.
Right.
$600. I think a slave cost about a couple $100 back in the day. You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even an economist, so I can't even guess what the inflation rates. You know what I mean? But he bought his freedom for $600. And unlike so many black men that get rich, that do like Kanye West said that he wasn't going to do and then turn around and did.
Right.
You understand? What do rich black people do today? They get rich, move out of the ghetto, get a white girl, forget all about their people, try to get the furthest they can from being identified as a nigger.
Right.
You understand? In fact, there's even black people like you know, there's a lot of how can I put this? There are black people who agree with white people that say there's two kinds of black people. Let me know if you ever heard this.
Right.
There's two kinds of black people. There's black people, and then there's niggers. You're a black person. You're not a nigger. You understand? That's how they get you. They're like, oh, okay, I'm a black person. I'm not a nigger like these niggers down here. You know what I'm saying? And then they turn their head and they're like, fucking nigger. You know what I'm saying? So here's the deal, right? All right, so here's the deal.
If I could,
Go
sir,
ahead.
just
Oh yeah, please.
I can read this little part. It says betrayed by a Christian. Like Denmark Vesey, George Wilson.
George who?
George Wilson.
George Wilson. That is the Benedict Arnold of Black America.
Right.
Read on.
Was a class leader in the AME church.
He was a what?
A class leader in the AME church.
So he was a part of the church that Denmark Vesey built down in Charleston. That AME church that Dylan Storm Roof went in and shot up. This guy George Wilson was a member of Denmark VC's church. Read on. But, go ahead.
he followed the Christian doctrine.
He followed the what?
The Christian doctrine.
Now here's the heavy part. Why does it say, but he followed the Christian doctrine? Go ahead, Al.
He was not for his people.
Because, hold on. Well, the scripture says, but he followed Christian doctrine, right? So who? George Wilson followed Christian doctrine. So as opposed to what? Go ahead.
Opposed to being for your people.
Okay, I'm gonna help you out. Here's a part of history a lot of people don't know. Denmark VC and that AME church, originally down in Charleston, they did not teach that we was Christians.
Right.
They taught that we were the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? Those men that started that church and were teaching that we were the children of Israel.
Right.
That black people in America were the real Jews. That is what they taught in the AME Baptist Church. Or not Baptist, I messed up the name, but you know what I mean. So George Wilson, he did not follow the doctrine of believing we are Jews and we are to separate.
Right.
He believed what?
But he followed the Christian doctrine.
So the man who betrayed Denmark VC was a Christian. Read on.
Of loving one's neighbor.
Of doing what?
Loving one's neighbor.
This is what Christianity teaches. Teaches to love your neighbor. You understand? But here's the thing. Christians get it twisted.
Right.
Because they think when it says loving thy neighbor means everybody who lives in your neighborhood. You understand? What if you got child molesters in your neighborhood? Are you going to love them too?
Christian doctrine said.
What if Leatherface lives down the street from your house? Are you going to invite him over to play with your kids? According to Christianity, like you say, according to the Christian doctrine, you better.
Right.
Read on.
And he was devoted to his master.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a gosh darn minute. Denmark VC was a slave. He was revolting against slavery. He did not believe in Christianity, according to this article. This article is saying that Denmark VC did not teach Christianity.
Right.
George Wilson, however, was a Christian who followed the doctrine of loving thy neighbor. And what else?
And was devoted to his master.
And was devoted to his master. That's the Christian doctrine. That is Christianity. That is the doctrine that you follow if you are in the Christian church.
Right.
Now you don't walk in the church and they immediately say, obey the white man. They don't do that in the Christian church.
Right.
You understand? They don't do that. You don't walk in and they say, obey the white man, love thy neighbor. You understand? But here's the heavy part. Love thy neighbor. Was Denmark VC not his neighbor?
Right.
You understand? Read on.
When fellow slave Rolla Bennett told him of the rebellion, Wilson pleaded with him to let it alone.
He did what?
He pleaded with him to let it alone.
Denmark VC. Listen, I don't know all the details, but I would tell you what, I know enough to know that there needs to be a movie about that man.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Long story short, had it not been for George Wilson, long story short, George Wilson was the sole individual who was responsible for this. But if had they cut George Wilson's head off, Denmark VC was going to kill every white person in Charleston. There were going to be no white people alive in Charleston after that. He was going to blow up people's houses. Like, he had this thing meticulously planned out and well funded.
Right.
You understand? Denmark VC, I laugh about it because the man was so serious.
Yeah.
You understand? That man was about to invade Charleston.
Right.
And black people was with it all the way across the
Right.
board. Except for Christians. Christians was not with Denmark VC. Now read on.
5 sleepless nights later, on June 14th, Wilson told.
Hold up.
He said,
Hold up. How many, read that part again. The 5 sleepless nights.
5 sleepless nights later.
So George Wilson is such a Christian. Oh my goodness, George Wilson. They should have never told this man nothing. This is Tekashi. George Wilson is Tekashi 6ix9ine of the Denmark VC slavery.
Right.
You understand? George Wilson said 5 sleepless nights.
sleepless.
This man loved white people so much.
Right.
He wanted to be loved so much. He was so worried about his affection that he would get from Master Billy that he could not sleep for damn near a week. Read on now.
5 sleepless nights later, on June 14th,
Go ahead.
Wilson told his master of the plot.
He did what?
Told his master of the plot.
He told his master of the plot. You know, Christianity, what did they say Christianity told him, what the doctrine is? To love thy, what?
Love thy neighbor as thyself.
To love thy neighbor as thyself, right? And what did George Wilson just do to, what did he just do? He just betrayed not just his neighbor. He betrayed every single black person that is on heroin right now in Charleston, South Carolina. You are on heroin because of a Christian.
Right.
You are in poverty because of Christianity. You understand? You are destroyed. You can't buy a goddamn house in Charleston if you are black with A1 credit. Salaki, in certain parts of Charleston. Salaki. You understand? You want to know whose fault it is? It is Christianity's fault.
Right.
You understand? Being Christians failed black people repeatedly. Where did we learn Christianity from? Because I promise you this, Denmark VC did not teach Christianity.
Right.
You understand? Denmark VC did not teach Christianity. Not only did he not teach Christianity, you understand? Not only did Denmark VC not teach Christianity, but he was a free man.
Right.
Denmark VC could have went on about his life. He could have just moved away, married a white woman, and went to France. But he stayed right there in Charleston.
Right.
Built a church right there in Charleston, and came up with a plan to free black people right there in Charleston.
Good nothing.
You understand? Read on.
Wilson told his master of the plot.
Wilson told his master of the plot. Read on.
Confirming the confession of another man and leading to the arrest and execution of Rollo Bennett and his his followers.
Listen. This man went and told. Now Tekashi 6ix9ine snitching, and at least Tekashi got caught.
Right.
This man volunteered. You understand? But here's the deal, right? This man is a Christian. Believes that you should love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
He just got people executed. You understand? Read on.
Although he was granted his freedom as a reward,
Listen. He said he did that. He snitched on all those brothers and sisters.
So,
You understand? If you could, Baba Bashar, look up how many people were killed as a result of the Denmark VC slave rebellion. Baba Bashar, please look that up for me. We done got way off topic. It's a lot.
It's just one more sentence.
No sweat.
He just
No sweat. But this is heavy information.
were
though.
killed.
How many people were killed or executed? How many people were executed as a result of the Denmark VC slave rebellion? How many people were executed? While he's looking that up, go ahead and keep reading.
yeah. It's just one more little part. It says
Take your time.
although he was granted his freedom as a reward, Wilson eventually lost his sanity and committed suicide.
You wanna know why? Because Christianity is a goddamn lie.
Right.
Christianity is a religion for cowards. That man was a coward.
Right.
You understand? That man was a coward who, when it came down to being a soldier for your people, he could not stomach it. You understand? You found that out? Got any information for
Let
me?
me read what a little bit I have.
Go
I'm
ahead.
not sure if that's the correct number, but I'm going to. Charleston, South Carolina, in 1822, though the rebellion never actually happened, a slave spilled the beans about it to authorities before it could happen. Vesey and 34 slaves, including some from the household of the state's governor, were tried and executed for attempting to raise an insurgency.
Now, here's what I got to say about this. This is what I got to say about this. 34 brothers were killed as a result of George Wilson snitching. 34 brothers lost their life. Okay? Now, granted, they was about to murder all of Charleston to get up out of there.
Right.
They was doing that because they felt like they had no other choice. And Denmark VC could have lived his life a rich man, went off and did his thing, but he saw fit to sacrifice his life to try to free his people. You understand? And it was all brought down by the hands of a Christian. You understand? And the Christian did what? He obeyed his master. Now, Denmark VC started a church. You know how the Kemet community always like to say, oh, the Bible says you're supposed to serve your master. Did Denmark VC not teach the Bible? Did the AME church not teach the Bible when Denmark VC ran the church? Yeah, you're damn right. It did teach the Bible. You understand? Because the Bible is what inspired Denmark VC to revolt. You understand? The Bible is what inspired him to build the church and teach black people that you were God's chosen people.
Right.
Go ahead.
And Shalai said, I'm pretty sure that he was teaching them not to follow the heathen ways as far as the holiday.
Come on, man. Like, he's about to cut heads off
Right.
from North Charleston to wherever is south of Charleston.
Right.
You understand? It was about to be blood Charleston was about to be rubble after that night.
Right.
You understand? Them boys had a plan, and the only reason why the plan got found out was because the wrong Christian found out.
Right.
He spilled them beans. He couldn't take it. He loved his master so much. You understand? Think about it. Somebody say, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your brother tomorrow.
Right.
I'm gonna kill your brother next week. You love your brother, right? And you know that the person that's threatening to kill him gonna kill him.
Right.
And you just sitting there sweating bullets, just worried, just can't even sleep thinking about that. That was George Wilson
Right.
to his slave master.
Right.
He loved his master that much that he would rather cause the execution of 34 brothers than to lose his slave master.
Yeah.
You understand? That is why it's so important for us to not learn the ways of the heathen, for us to not join these other nations. Because as we join these other nations, it's going to result in our people dying so that we can get some type of little chip. Think about it. What did Judas get after he betrayed Yahushua? What did he get?
He got some silver.
Got some silver, 30 shekels. You understand? 30 goddamn funky ass like, excuse my language. You understand? And so here's the deal, right? This right here, I wanted to make sure I bring these points out because not only do we got the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation going on, Tekashi snitching across the board, and the thing that's coming out about that whole case is there's a whole line of informants that led to this point. You understand? There's a whole line of it. I don't know if anybody followed the trial, but Tekashi, not just Tekashi 6ix9ine, but his driver. His driver was an informant. And his driver was an illegal immigrant that was about to get deported. And his he was about to, I think either his family was about to get deported or he was about to get deported. And so he turned criminal informant to prevent that from happening.
Right. Yeah.
You understand? So this is why the Bible says our oppressor is the most subtle beast of the field.
Right.
You understand? Because he creates these oppressive situations.
Right.
And then uses us against each other.
That's right.
You understand? To bring us down. Not only did he do that with the 9 Trey Bloods, he did that with Denmark Vesey. And again, guess what? I'll take it back even further. Not only did he do that with Denmark Vesey, he did that with the North American Indians, with the Cherokees and the Choctaws and the Navajo. You understand? That's what he did. He created oppressive situations amongst the Native American tribes. And then, because of those oppressive situations, we're able to manipulate this tribe of Gadites to go to war with this tribe of Gadites. And then at the end of the day, they both end up dead. What did George Wilson get at the end of the day? Suicide. That's where he ended up. He ended up the same place Denmark Vesey ended up. So what did he gain out of selling his brother down the goddamn river when he could have been a soldier and not joined his oppressors and lived a free man on the island of Jamaica with 10 wives?
Same with Judas. Like,
You understand?
give them some.
So here's the deal. That same spirit is the spirit of America.
Right.
That's right.
You understand? That is the spirit that is the acceptable spirit of a black man in America. If you want to be accepted in America, you got to trim your ways. You can't be loyal to black people. You can't be a soldier for black people. You understand? You can't care about the oppression of Hispanics at the border. You can't care about that. You understand? You can't care about the North American Indians that is some reservations, they don't even grow up with a pair of shoes until they damn near become a teenager. You understand? You can't care about that stuff and be loved by America. Which is why Jay-Z is sitting in that office in the NFL, because he doesn't give a damn about Trayvon Martin. And who else doesn't give a damn about Trayvon Martin? The Christian church doesn't give a damn about Trayvon Martin.
That's right.
Who else doesn't give a damn about Trayvon Martin? Fake Israelite groups don't give a damn about Trayvon Martin. You understand? And not only do those organizations not give a damn about Trayvon Martin, who else doesn't give a damn about Trayvon Martin? The other nations don't give a damn about Trayvon
Right.
Martin. You think George Zimmerman gave two? I almost cussed. Do you think George Zimmerman gave a damn about Trayvon Martin?
Right.
You think he cared anything about Trayvon Martin? You understand? So spiritually, we should not be following after the white man. We shouldn't be trying to get his love. Because in order to get his love, we have to love his oppression. We have to love that he murders us in the street. We have to love that he forces us, that he forces us, to turn on each other. That he creates these situations for us to turn on each other and hate each other. He said the Christian doctrine said what? To love thy neighbor as thyself. But in the Christian doctrine, did he love his neighbor, his brother as himself, or did he love his master as himself?
His master.
He loved his master as himself. And so here's the deal. The Bible says a man cannot serve two masters.
That's right.
He gonna love one and hate the other. So if Christianity teaches you to serve your master, then what are you gonna do to black people?
It's like I said, you're gonna forget all about what happened, forget all about your people, not give a dang on about it.
In other words, you're gonna do what?
You're not gonna follow them.
You're gonna hate them.
You're gonna hate them.
You're gonna hate them. Correct. So here's the deal, right? That's just we got off track because what we were talking about was the white man's holidays, and it stemmed into just the white man's culture, period. You understand? Just the ideologies of being accepted in America. In order for us to get, because think about it like this: Denmark Vesey wasn't given his freedom by his master. He bought it. George Wilson did what to get his freedom?
He betrayed.
He betrayed 34 black men who loved him. Those black men that died had more love for George Wilson than George Wilson, because they were willing to die for George Wilson.
It's like I said.
Go ahead.
They loved him so much that they told him.
They told him.
They told him what was going on.
And all he had to do was shut up. All he had to do was be quiet, and he was going to drink rum out of a coconut in Jamaica.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So here's the deal, right? All right, so we already established and went extremely in depth as to why we should not follow after the other nations.
Right.
That story about George Wilson is a prime example of why we should not join the other
And
nations.
that's right.
The blood gang is a reminder that we should not join the other nations. You understand? Drugs, how do drugs get into the community? Do the Bloods own a cruise liner? I mean, they might.
They might not, but
Yeah, they might.
back then.
But do they own submarines that can bring hundreds of thousands of metric tons of cocaine and heroin into the country? Do they? I don't. I've never seen it. I know a lot of Crips. I've never seen any Crips. Pull up in a G5.
Right.
Pull up in an AC-130 cargo plane. Go ahead.
It's like it, sir. I seen not too long ago the military, the U.S. military was over there. I forgot what country, but it was over there guarding the opioids.
Yeah, over there in Afghanistan.
Guarding.
Guarding the opium fields. You understand? Because who's the biggest drug dealer on earth?
Person
Our
today.
oppressor. Our oppressor is the biggest drug dealer on the planet. You understand? Matter of fact, how many people are familiar with Scarface? Scarface, one of my favorite movies. I'm familiar with Scarface. Tony Montana. You understand? In fact, the Future song, Tony Montana, is one of my favorite songs, believe it or not. I don't even listen to Future. I like that one song. You understand? I'm about to cop the Porsche. You understand? So here's the deal, right? In that movie Scarface, what a lot of people don't know. You don't believe me? Let's look it up. I prefer you look it up anyway. But you familiar with a character named Sosa?
Constant.
You familiar with Sosa? What did Sosa do in Scarface?
He was the plug for. He was the man that gave everything that Scarface really wanted to Scarface.
Right.
One time.
Right. He gave basically he gave Scarface, like he did business with Scarface and provided all of the drugs for Scarface's, for Tony Montana's drug empire.
Right.
You understand? And here's the deal. He was a stinking rich drug kingpin down there in Colombia somewhere.
Right.
Now here's what a lot of people don't know. Sosa is in real life based off of a real life person.
Mm.
He's and you can look into this. When you look up the history of that movie Scarface, Sosa is based off of a man named Roberto Suarez.
Mm.
Roberto Suarez was not a Hispanic. He was not a brother. His name's Suarez, but he is not an Israelite.
Right.
You understand? His forefathers were Spaniards that came to, I believe it's Bolivia, or I believe it was Bolivia, or it might have been, no, it wasn't Colombia, it was Bolivia. Went to Bolivia and enslaved all the people in Bolivia, and they made rubber in Bolivia. So they were like that family, his family that he comes from was like for years, like back in the 15, 14, 1600s, talking super old money. Like his family were rubber barons. They provided most of the world with rubber. That's him right there, Roberto Suarez. He kind of looked like Sosa. He is a so-called white man in South America. You understand? Supplying all the coke. He supplied, I might be exaggerating the numbers a little bit, but I'm not far off when I say that he supplied about 90% of the world's cocaine during the 60s, 70s, and 80s. He was the man. You understand? And now in the movie Scarface, he didn't, in that movie Scarface, he, Sosa had, when he had that meeting with all those government officials and whatnot from all the different places, Roberto Suarez was more powerful than Sosa was depicted in Scarface. Roberto Suarez, because Sosa was based off of Suarez. Suarez was way more powerful than this man was painted out to be in this movie. He was the man that was supplying the Medellin cartel, who is Pablo Escobar and those guys. That's where they was getting drugs from Roberto Suarez. You see what I'm saying? Now here's the thing. Who do they blame? Who does America blame? Or who were they blaming then, even then, for all the drugs that was coming to America? Who was they blaming? They was blaming Hispanic people. They was blaming Hispanics when it was a devil that was supplying all those drugs.
Right.
Roberto Suarez was a white man. You understand?
Time.
So here's the deal. We live in America. Around the time of civil rights, we had organizations that were pushing drugs out of our community. We were more so focused, prior to civil rights, we were more so focused on being separate but strong. Because being separate is what made us strong. You understand? Think about the brothers and sisters in Black Wall Street. Separated from America did what? Do you think they would have been able to do that in Mobile, Alabama,
Like,
right downtown Mobile, they wouldn't have been able to do that.
Too many. I want to say haters, but that's a bigger word. But you get the drift. It's
Right. So here's the deal. So even history teaches that we should not join other nations. The Bible teaches that we should not join other nations.
All right.
But Christianity teaches to love your master
Right.
as yourself.
Right.
Long story short, because he read the doctrine, it said to love your neighbor as yourself, and to what did it say about the master?
He was devoted to the master.
Devoted to his master. He loved his master. That's like what Malcolm X used to say, "What's the matter, boss? Are we sick?" Because he loved his master as he loved himself.
Yeah.
That is the Christian doctrine.
Yeah.
That is Christianity. You understand? And when you love your master more than you love yourself, what are you going to do? You're going to celebrate holidays
Right.
where you are symbolically eating the blood of your own brother.
Right.
You understand? You're going to celebrate holidays glorifying a man who is responsible for the genocide of 100 million black people, 77 million North American Indians, almost 1 billion Hispanics. You understand? So that is the same spirit. You understand? That same spirit is what made Tekashi 6ix9ine snitch on his boys. That same spirit is what made George Wilson turn on Denmark Vesey. You understand? And that same spirit is on every Christian pastor and every Christian that goes to a Christian church.
Right.
Right.
You understand? Because how do you know this? Remember last camp we was at with that sister walked up and called us liars. And we
Right.
preaching hate. We preaching hate.
Right.
You understand? Well, let me ask you a question. Who was preaching hate that day in Charleston?
Right.
Was Denmark Vesey preaching hate?
Right.
You understand? Because Denmark Vesey, his actions was motivated by love.
Right. That's right. That's
But
right.
that Christian, George Wilson, I'll never forget that brother name. George Wilson. You old George Wilson. If I call you George, that's a bad name right there. George.
George Wilson.
Like you old George Wilson. Oh, George Wilson face ass. You know what I mean? So here's the deal, right? George Wilson, did he preach love or preach hate? He was a Christian. Did he preach love or did he preach hate?
From what the article says, he absolutely preached hate towards his people. He loved his oppressors so much, yeah, but he hated his people too.
Right. So here's the deal. Did Denmark Vesey kill anybody?
Not yet.
No, he didn't lay a finger on anybody. He might have planned to, but he didn't. You understand?
But they sure killed him.
But they sure did, right? You right. They sure did kill Denmark Vesey and every brother that followed after him. You understand? So here's the deal, man. These so-called holidays that the white man got coming up, it's for every brother and sister. You understand? I honestly, I fear for my family, you know, that's still in the world that still like to go out and do that.
That's right.
They like to go out and do that Black Friday shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Like my aunt, she is relentless. You understand? She'll be like, "You going with me to go?" And I'm like, "Hell no." You understand? I love her to death. That's my family. You know what I mean? I want to go with the chopper to make sure don't nobody mess
That's
with me.
right.
But I ain't going nowhere because why? Because I'm not following after the heat.
That's right.
You understand? And I'm protecting you by talking to you.
That's right.
You understand? And so here's the deal. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, it's about time to start getting upset.
That's right.
It's about time to start getting a little mad. You understand? It's about that time. You understand? And here's the deal. They talking all this mess about Tekashi 6ix9ine. You understand? But nobody's paying attention to the fact that we are one step closer to World War III.
Right.
Exactly.
You understand? We are
Concept.
one step closer to World War III. You understand? And here's the deal. You understand? The scripture says that in the latter days, the devil was going to come down on us because he know he has a short time. So this is expected that brothers and sisters are going to start going to prison. You understand? But mark my word, you talking about we preaching hate in the UPK? Listen, in the UPK, we ain't lay a finger on nobody.
Right.
You understand? We ain't hurt a soul in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? If anything, you understand, the Christian church has got blood on their hands that they need to clear up.
Right.
How many molested children, how many children have been molested that the Christian church has not answered for? You understand? How many homes, how many husbands lost their wives to adultery from the same man that they were giving money to every Sunday?
And I know people like that still to this day in that church.
Now here's the thing. In the UPK, we don't follow after the white man. The white man likes to sleep around and sleep with whores and sleep with his best friend's wife, and that's what the white man likes to do. You understand? But in the UPK, we do not follow after the heathen.
That's right.
We do not celebrate his feast days.
That's right.
We do not do those things. Why do we do those things? Because we love our people. You understand? We love our people. I heard I can't remember who said it, but it was so profound when they said it. They said, I have so much love for my people that I don't have enough love to give to anybody else.
Right.
You understand? Now the Christian church, we actually have fed people. Mardaki, you know, we've gone out there and given food to brothers and sisters, giving clothes to brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters down in Charleston, they go to, some of them go to parks every night, roll up their newspaper, pull out their blanket out their backpack, and lay on that bench and go to sleep until the morning. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of black people like that, living like that in Charleston.
Right.
That's right.
You understand? Why is that when it's a Christian church on damn near every corner in the goddamn ghetto in Charleston? You understand? They don't give a damn about their people. You understand? Here's how you know. Here's another red flag. Here's another red flag. Who do you think took over that AME church after Denmark VC got killed? Them Christians. You understand? And what do them Christians do? They hate black people and devote it to their master. You understand? We just brought that out. That was what George Wilson believed. That was Christianity. You understand? And guess what? Because Christians are devoted to their master, Dylan Storm Roof was able to walk right up in that church and sit down with them for hours with guns and bad intentions and murder everybody in that church.
Right.
You understand? So with that, let's see, Salaki. Yeah, we at the time. Salaki. With that, we the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jenny YAHANNA. What we teach is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel according to the Bible. And we are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. And with that, shalom.